The Intercept has a fantastic piece on the voter fraud for Trump. Quote, Trump would seek, quote, a major investigation in voter fraud, which remains non-existent. Also, Trump's own team contradicts many of the tweets with a statement, the tweets from Trump, with a statement of, quote, all available evidence suggests the 2016 general election was not tainted with voter fraud or any mistakes, end quote. Okay, so Trump's going to go ahead and launch an investigation in voter fraud, which remains non-existent. And let me stop right there. He's going to launch this massive investigation with what kind of money to go in and look at a problem that's non-existent, and it's just a code word. I'll get back to that in a second. It's a code word, and it's a lie. It's non-existent. Now, people will say, well, I have this and this and this, and I'll get back to that in a second as well. We move on. They go on to say in the article from The Intercept how they only have 4 cases, using all resources at their disposal. They only have 4 cases of voter fraud and voter mistake in the 2016 general election. 4 cases. Okay, are there more than 4? Probably. Are there less than 1,000? Most likely. Are there less than 500? Probably. This isn't good. Okay, I'm going to break this down. Okay, so back to the code word thing. The GOP goes up there, and they can go up there and they can say, voter fraud. We have to catch voter fraud. It's like when the Democrats go up there and the headlines say, Russia hacked the election. Okay. That confuses a ton of people. And what do you think when Democrats say they hacked the election? Oh my God, they changed voting machines to give more votes to Trump. No. What they're talking about from all of our government agencies, which are just basing this off of very little to no evidence. Yeah, Russia hacked the DNC and RNC emails. You know, the DNC emails that made Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign. Yeah. Those emails were hacked by Russia. That's what they're talking about when they say hacked. When the GOP goes up there and goes voter fraud, what they really mean is we're going to do some voter suppression. We're gonna make it harder for minorities to vote. We're going to make it harder for people to vote in general. Not even including race, but the race thing is a very important part of this story. I'll just cover all kinds of people, because what they do is the Intercept continues, and they talk to people from different organizations for minorities, the NAACP, is that? Or am I confusing that with something? That's the National African American something program, I think. The NAACP, they talk to people like that, and what they do, and states have already done this. First of all, let's cover the big part of this. They gutted the 1965 Civil Rights or Voting Rights Act. So the thing that people hail from MLK and LBJ for getting through in the 60s, and how we literally just talked about Martin Luther King, we're going to get rid of, and we're going to gut parts of his legislation that helped his movement. I don't know if he came up with it, but LBJ helped his movement by passing this. Okay. Yeah, great. Let's spit in the legacy of Martin Luther King some more, shall we? What they also do is they do restrictions on early voting. They do super strict ID photo laws. And the one that is irrefutable is they close down polling places specifically near colored and minority communities. So what does that do? Just on the closing of voting places down below, there was a report that came out, 7 states in the South, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, South and North Carolina, Florida, I think, and like Virginia. But those 5 for sure. Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, South and North Carolina, all closed roughly from 200 to like 1,200 voting places. because of the gutting of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. So they want to suppress the vote. Bernie Sanders says this all the time. When people go out and vote, Democrats win. When people don't go out and vote, Republicans win. It's true. We can look at past elections and we can see it. So it's a code word. Voter fraud is non-existent. Will you find more the more you look into it? Yes. Will it be super high numbers? Probably not. Final point. The whole Voting Rights Act could disappear because the Supreme Court is what gutted the 1965 Act in the first place. Trump has a Supreme Court pick, and in his first term, he could have two more, not including the one he already has. So he could have 3 Supreme Court justices in his first term if Sotomayor doesn't pass away and one other one either resigns or passes away because he's really old. So he could have 3 Supreme Court justices up there, and he said multiple times he wants it to be like the next Antonin Scalia. Okay, so the whole thing could be gutted if the Supreme Court votes in his 3 justices, and his 1 justice as of right now has the same beliefs as he does, which he probably will. So remember, when they say voter fraud, they really mean voter suppression.